All right, so we just repeat ourselves?
Start from the beginning.
Oh, man. What a day.
It has been one crazy day.
I guess for those tuning in on Friday, just say hi. I don't know.
Okay.
I can just tell right now.
I don't know.
Lucas is like holding it all in.
Not very well.
Just deep breaths, Lucas. Deep breaths. That was very loud. So, what do you want to talk about today, Shawn?
Well, I wanted to talk about like what brought you into the podcast.
So, I think it was just a fun opportunity because I've done some stuff with podcasts before, but not into this this amount of detail, at least. And I think it was really cool to first kind of, I think I learned from you that you were dyslexic, and I think it was from one of the classes you had mentioned it before. But I never knew Jacob before TEDx, and then you had brought up that you and other Jacob are doing this podcast, and it was very intriguing to learn from that perspective, because I'm going to try and put this as nice as possible without getting canceled. I have a normal brain in quotations, and I was using air quotes there for those.
Yeah,
that are just
neurotypical
brain.
Yeah.
And so I think it was just interesting to learn from the different perspectives.
Louisville, Kentucky, established in 1778 at the strategic falls of the mighty Ohio River. Today awarded the title All-America City for outstanding progress in community relations.
Yes.
Bellerman Radio.
Yes.
Okay, so
Sorry, it popped up on us because
Everything that's been happening, it's like we're just inclined to believe something else was going wrong.
it was. It's just been a great day for this podcast.
yeah.
But anyways, to kind of summarize what I was just saying before the ad break, I was just very intriguing to learn from the different perspectives of how people grow up and how people learn and react to different situations. I'm big on like psychology stuff, so I like to learn about people, and I like to learn how people again react to certain situations, and how they just go about their normal lives.
Well, it's been great having you here.
Thank you so much, Shawn.
Yeah, and you do good work. So, what are some of the products you produce for this podcast? Just so people know.
So I handle a lot of the social aspect. I know Lucas, who has been on the podcast before, does the brunt of the work with rewatching the podcast and editing it in full, and he kind of gives me the short clips of it. And I handle a lot of those, so we try to make them as funny and as engaging as possible.
Okay.
Try and work on the different trends of things. And that's the realm that I mostly do. And I greatly enjoy it.
Cool. Well, it looks like you have some questions.
I do have some questions and topics.
Yeah.
Well, the one thing I kind of wanted to talk about was, I believe it was last week's episode, you guys talked about like the questions, and I think it was Jacob that brought up how a neurotypical person asks the questions what, how, why, but someone who's neurodivergent asks the opposite and asks the why first.
Yes.
And I kind of agree with that in the fact that I always ask the what first, but I typically go with the what, why, how of things.
So you kind of bounce.
I kind of bounce around. So if I'm working on a project like this, or if I'm working on a project for work or anything, I always ask like, what are we doing? What's the goal? That type of stuff first. And then I go into why are we doing this? Why do I have to do it this certain way? Why can't I do it my own way?
Interesting.
And then I ask the how.
Very different approach.
Very different approach.
But it makes sense.
It does.
Yeah.
And I think it also has to do with, I know you and Lucas had talked about how like when you guys work, you're very visual. Like you can see things and more about the visual imagery of things. Now, me and Lucas have talked about it before with screenwriting, and you can see certain things. And I think that's where my brain kind of works the best with the visual imagery, is just if you tell me something, I can automatically visualize it from like the start to the beginning.
Okay.
So whenever I'm writing, at least for screenwriting, for writing scenes, I can tell you beat for beat how it will look. Now, granted, I'm not on Lucas's status of I can remember scenes from movies and tell you what the movie is, but
not Val Kilmer in Heat.
No, I can't.
No.
I cannot.
Because he cut his hair.
He did cut his hair.
It's not fair.
It's totally different.
I didn't get to watch that movie in one sitting. I wanted to, but I had to keep stopping it. So I need to watch it again.
I'd like to watch it again too.
Have a group watch.
I know the way that they
is.
handle their weapons and all that are it's totally correct.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, rest in peace, Val Kilmer.
I was gonna say I think he recently passed away.
Yeah. I've been watching Tombstone clips of him as Doc Holliday. I don't like the movie.
I don't think I've seen Tombstone.
Really?
I have not.
Oh, just Google Val Kilmer, Tombstone, Doc Holliday, or whatever.
Gotcha.
Man, he's really good. Yeah, you don't want to mess with him.
Okay.
And he's like a skinny lunger. They called him a lunger because he had respiratory disease.
Really?
What was it? Tuberculosis,
TB.
Yeah, so they called him lunger, but he was a gambler and would travel and
Really? Okay.
really fast with his gun.
Okay.
But he was always coughing up blood and stuff. So he had a hard life. He didn't live very long. He was a dentist before.
Really? I did not know that.
Yeah. He was from a wealthy family. He was a dentist and then got tuberculosis. Probably somebody coughed in his face while he's like pulling their teeth or something.
Probably.
Anyway, that's kind of off topic.
Don't worry.
We never go off topic.
We never go off topic.
So I'm sorry.
But no, I can if you tell me something, I can automatically visualize it. So that's why I think it really helps with screenwriting is that I can read a script or me and Lucas have worked on stuff before, and it's like the eureka moment that you all had mentioned before.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Where it's like everything just automatically clicks.
It's like, yeah.
And it's like I can picture it from the start to the middle to the finish, every detail known to man. Now it's just about me remembering stuff, so I always have to write stuff down as well. And the storyboard. But I don't write out the scenes. I write out bullet points in a sense.
Okay.
So I write out all the bullet points, and it could be 1 page, it could be 30 pages, it could be whatever. And then I just work. I go as I go with it. I just write it, and whatever flows out. So that was one of the things that I wanted to talk about.
Because you have a lot of movie projects.
I have a lot of movie projects. So I have a short film that I'm currently finishing up. I have a comedy sketch that I've told Lucas about that I really hope that I can work with plays and that type of stuff.
It's funny.
It's very funny.
It's really.
And then I have 2 more films that I'm kind of working on series and all that. So I'm hoping I'm going to finish up those soon, and then I can submit those to different festivals and really, really hit hard on the screenwriting aspect of things.
Have you worked with Abby from TEDx?
With TEDx, yes, but I don't think outside of that.
She does film too.
She does, okay.
Yeah, and she's really funny.
The movie I'm writing, she's probably going to be my lead role. Though.
Yeah, no, she could do it.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
And I'm doing independent study with her, and she's doing films where she's all the characters.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Hilarious. She's got a really good sense of humor. Yeah, she puts on the 5. What is it called? 5 o'clock shadow.
Okay.
I'm gonna need to see this.
Oh yeah, you gotta watch it. They're hilarious.
Yeah.
Different accents, different yeah.
Huh.
So.
All right. Well, there's another thing I wanted to talk about that you all had mentioned about reading the rooms when you walk into a room.
Yes.
So, do you ever get overstimulated when it comes to entering a room?
Yes, I do. Chrissy's nodding yes.
Does it matter if it's somewhere like the fishbowl where you're more comfortable versus somewhere else?
It's usually when I'm in a new environment.
Okay.
I would say. Would you say, Christy? We go to a new place.
Or if you've been in an environment for a long time with a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The other side of that coin.
But I don't know if that's dyslexia. That could be HSP.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Autism.
Huh?
It's definitely autism.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
So just take a break and go wash dishes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll leave. I got to go take a walk.
Okay. Really? Okay.
Yeah, there's too many people
Okay.
And that's what one thing I don't like about academia is when we have those big ceremonies where you have to get dressed up in your costume and go sit down and you're around thousands of people.
Okay.
And you have to just sit there. And I can't, I'm trapped, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't mind doing that. Like, I'll go. But it's like I want to be able to, like, go up and just walk outside for a minute and then come back in.
Okay.
But I don't think that's dyslexia. I think that's my other thing.
Gotcha.
So.
Okay. I know, like, for me, it also depends on the room. I would call myself a chameleon where I can fit into, like, any social surroundings, but I have to get used to the situation where I have to, like, for example, we have at least, like, one gala type thing a year for work. And it's just, like, I have to, like, survey the room to see if I know anybody first to get myself more acquainted to it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that really has to do with anything of how, like, a normal brain works, and you have to, like, you always look for people that you know first, and then you have to go around and kind of weave your way into the things.
No, I think that's something I do too.
Okay.
Like, well, for me, like, a lot of times I'll look for someone who's by themselves.
Mm-hmm. Really? Okay.
Yeah. And I'm like, hey, what's up? Who are you?
See, I can't do that.
Oh, I do that all the time.
I can't go up to just a random person. I can't, if I'm in, like, that type of situation, I always have to go to people that I see first, and it has to be, well, more than likely it has to be a group of at least, like, 2 or 3.
Okay. Oh, that's very different. Yeah, like when I used to eat in the cafeteria at lunch all the time, and I would just go up to, like, somebody who's sitting by themselves and be like, can I join you?
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I just want to know people.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm not opposed to, like, eating with friends or whatever, but it's like, oh, this person's all alone. Let me go talk to them, see what they're like. Why are they alone? You know?
Yeah.
Are they weird? I want to know.
Gotcha. Okay.
It could be really interesting.
That could be really interesting.
So, yeah, it's the curiosity,
Okay.
I think, of dyslexia. That's definitely something that we are.
Okay.
And that, yeah, it doesn't bother me to go up into an unknown situation and interact with somebody that I don't know at all. Like, I think it's actually kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the difference.
You are listening to Dyslexics Untied. Tune in every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. at BellarminRadio.com. That is BellarminRadio.com. Listen to us again on Fridays on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts, or on YouTube for a special video edition. Now, on with the show.
So were there any things that you wanted to ask a neurotypical person?
Yeah. Well, I mean, what was it like learning to read for you?
Did you need SpongeBob to help you?
Yeah. Did you need?
I would watch SpongeBob all the time, but I did not need his help to read.
What about to tie your shoes?
Tying her shoes?
Yeah.
That's a great song. There's also another song about the aglet that only real people would remember.
I don't.
The aglet.
Phineas and Ferb.
Got it.
Phineas and Ferb.
A-G-L-E-T. Don't
Aglet.
forget it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm glad one person here knows the aglet song.
Disney just now sued us. We're broke now.
Anyways,
Do you know the E equals MC squared song from Animaniacs?
No.
no.
That show.
I know the show. I don't know the
It's
song. Oh my! I know. It's a memory
good.
coming back to me now.
It's good. They're spelling Acme,
Okay.
the Acme song, to Einstein,
Okay.
and they, who's it? Wacko. It's Wacko. So Wacko's writing it,
Yeah.
but his handwriting's so bad, it looks like E equals MC squared because he's
Okay.
writing it backwards.
Yeah.
Acme, and then Einstein's like, Eureka, and he's like puts the equal sign. He's like so excited, and that's how they came up with theory of relativity.
The theory of relativity, E equals mc squared.
So it's time travel. They go back in time. They show him E equals MC squared. He's like, yes. He writes it down. Then it goes through history to the point where the Animaniacs learn about it, and then at some point they go back in time and teach. So it's a
Yeah. Okay.
It's a loop.
I didn't overthink that. They travel in time back in the was it the 90s when they were out
Yeah.
the first time. Then they came out with the second season.
Like the one thing, was it them that had like the song about the different places in the world?
They did all the
It's like
countries.
the whole country songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I heard he did it in one take.
One take.
That's what they say. I don't know if it's true.
I don't know if that's true or not.
And then all the capitals and states and things like that. There were a lot of fun songs.
But so you had asked about like reading when I was growing up. I
Yes.
didn't really have that many problems. I always tried to challenge myself and try to be a little bit ahead of the group in a sense.
Okay.
But no, I don't think it really has ever been too much of a challenge for me. Like I said, as I've gotten older, I try and challenge myself a bit more. So I read a lot of psychology stuff, stuff to do with ethics and philosophy, and I try to challenge myself. The thing is also, I don't like reading, I don't like reading fiction books.
Not true.
Yeah, I can't get into those. I have to read stuff that is true.
Okay.
It's a weird thing because it challenges my brain. So like when I was younger, I would read a lot of that, like a lot of stuff that was in like the world of make believe and everything. But like now I strictly only read stuff that helps me learn, that I can learn. Like the latest book that I read, it was a Neil deGrasse Tyson book that talked about the universe and astrophysics and all that stuff. So I know I don't know if that would be stuff for like, how do I want to say this? It could be challenging for some people with that type of stuff, I think.
Yeah. And how do you read? Like, where are you when you read? Can you read anywhere?
I can read anywhere, pretty
Okay.
much. I don't like I can't read audiobooks because then I'll get distracted.
Okay.
But I like to listen to music while I read.
Yes. Oh, really?
I do.
What kind of music?
It depends on what I'm reading. So like
Oh.
for instance, and it goes with writing as also. So if I'm reading something that has to do with, let's just say, astrophysics, I listen to a lot of like ambient space type stuff almost. But if I'm reading something that's like a period piece of like 50s, 60s, 70s or something like that, I listen to music to get into the feel and the vibe of it. So it's like I might listen to
Like Creedence or something?
Creedence. I love Creedence. But
Who doesn't? If you don't like Creedence, like,
But I'll listen to them. I'll listen
What's
to
wrong
straight
with
up
you?
like any type of blues. Jazz has been really big on me. But I'm also, it might annoy some people, but I listen to multiple stuff at the same time too. So it's like I'll be reading a book, but I'll also be either like listening to a song or like listening to some type of ambience type stuff, again, to get in that vibe. But it would all be together because I don't like silence.
yeah, I don't like it either.
I have to be doing something, and that's like with multitasking. I have to be listening to something or doing something while I'm working. And I know it tends to, a lot of people tend to question it because then they don't think that I'm like putting all my focus on what I'm doing, but I am.
Right.
But getting it back to reading, I can read pretty much anywhere. Usually it's like there's a chair, like like you all talked about, there's a certain chair that you all sit in or something.
Yes.
I could read pretty much anywhere, but yeah, I have to be listening to stuff because then it zones out everybody else. Like if I'm in public, usually I'm reading at a coffee shop or something. So when I put in my music or whatever it may be, it zones out everybody else and I'm focused on that.
That's interesting. It's hard for me to read around other people because I'm just kind of watching them.
Okay.
Not like creepy,
Yeah.
but I'm just like curious, like, what are they doing?
Yeah.
How's that work? Like at an airport,
Okay.
like people just like break out a book.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I want to walk around and see
Okay.
how people act in an
Okay.
airport and the different, I don't know, the different ways they do it. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
And then maybe you bump into somebody, like who knows?
Exactly.
So, but yeah, airports are a little different
Yeah.
than like the
I've
cafeteria.
honestly never been to an airport.
What?
I've never been to an airport, never flown anywhere.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I've flown hundreds of times.
I don't have like a fear of flying or anything. I mean,
Just haven't had
I just
it.
have never, I've driven everywhere. Went to Chicago, drove there.
Yeah, Chicago's
Florida
a quick
every
drive.
time, drove there.
Where, like the
Destin and Disney.
Right. That coast.
Yeah.
No surf.
No surf.
No surf on that coast.
No surf. But no, it's also I think it was Lucas who had mentioned it about like how long it takes you to read things. I'm similar to what Noelle is. I can breeze right through pages and pages and pages, like just like that.
She got through Dune. I mean, she didn't finish it.
Yeah.
But she was flying through it, and oh my gosh, it made me feel bad. Yeah, I'm a slow reader compared to her.
Yeah, but I mean, I read slow, but I could make connections when I was in like when I was in my PhD program and master's program. Like I could make connections between different readings that
really
people couldn't do.
Okay.
And so people would come to me and be like, I'm really struggling with coming up with a topic for this paper.
Okay.
And I'd be like, what are you interested in? And I'd be like, well, what if you pulled from this and this and this?
Okay.
You'd have a good paper.
Gotcha. Okay.
And they'd be like, oh yeah, I'm
Really?
doing it. So there are PhDs out there that wrote dissertations after a coffee session with me.
Really?
Yeah. No, it's fact.
Are they giving you the credit?
No, I don't care. I don't care. And my whole thing was like, I could come up with so many ideas. There's no way I could write them all.
Okay.
So I just give them away.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So if you give me something close to what you're interested in,
Okay.
I would be like, here, do this.
Huh.
Yeah. No. I got a lot of free coffee. Yeah.
A lot of free coffee. I think also it has to do with like a memory thing too, because like to me with certain books I can tell you about them in a sense, and some I can't. But I think I have like a pretty decent memory. I know. Again, I want to kind of reference what Lucas had said of talking about how you can like read people and remember certain things about people, their details about how they react, and how I think you said how you can like remember a text that the way someone texted or talked with that. And I think that's something I have a little bit of struggle with, honestly.
It's a pattern.
Yeah.
People really aren't that hard to figure out, honestly. Everyone has their patterns. My wife, I had figured out in 2 weeks of knowing her.
Yeah.
And no one's ever done that. That's one thing that kind of got me in. It helped me get me in, kind of.
And I know that we had talked, like just right before the podcast, Christy had mentioned something. Did you say people with dyslexia are empathetic? Yeah, or more empathetic. And I think that's very interesting.
Yeah, and that's probably why I go to therapy.
Okay.
Because I feel people's emotion.
And see, that's something that I struggle with, in a sense, a little bit.
Okay.
Where it's like, I can tell how people like are talking over the phone, like how that, but it's a struggle for me sometimes to see it in person. I think it reflects to me as well, because Lucas knows more than anybody here, I'm a very dry, sarcastic person a lot of times. So it's hard for me to show people, at least when I'm meaning something, and therefore I think it also backfires, and it's a struggle for me to know when people are feeling a certain way. So I have like the more direct approach to it, almost.
Yeah. No. Yeah. That's really. Yeah, I feel it right away when I go anywhere. Even an office or a nurse or whatever. Like I can read them.
Really? Okay.
And I can feel what they're feeling in some way.
Okay.
Like, I'm like, oh, this person's really. There's something going on here. And then I adjust the way I talk to them based on how I feel that they feel.
Really? Okay.
Yes, that's really big, and it helped me a lot as a reporter. Because as a reporter, they send you to like Uncle John's farm to talk about the chicken plant or whatever.
Okay.
So you go, and I have to read you pretty quick, and then I adjust the way I talk based on how I think you feel.
Okay. How long were you a reporter for?
3 years? I think it was 3 years. Yeah, 3 years. Little town in Georgia.
Okay.
And I'm from Miami.
Yeah.
So I was scared to death of white people. I really was.
These white men are dangerous.
Gotcha.
They frightened the heck out of me.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw Deliverance.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And so, yeah, I got the job. I went, and I really fell in love with the people there.
Okay.
In Georgia, and actually married one. So, but yeah.
So I know we're getting close on our time, even though we've been here for a while.
For hours and hours.
We have a little food and water station over here too.
Yeah.
Were there any other questions that you had for a neurotypical person?
Oh wow. Left and right?
Left and right, yeah.
Is that easy for you?
Yeah, pretty much.
Man.
Which one's red?
The one in your left hand.
Wait, which hand is that? I'm also dyslexic.
What the freak?
It's just something that's like...
I still, even now, this is right. This is left. Like,
yeah.
The process. So reading came pretty natural to you.
Reading left and right.
You can read fast.
I can read fast.
You have a lot of superpowers to you.
I do have a lot of superpowers.
Yeah.
I mean, people tell me I do look like Superman.
Yes.
I know. I get that a lot. That and Keanu Reeves.
Oh, yeah?
Keanu Reeves is a big one, too.
You're going to go... What was the Keanu Reeves photo where he's, like, eating a sandwich or something, and he looks really sad?
That's exactly what I'm going to do right after this podcast.
Do it right after. Take a photo. That's got to be the cover. The sad Keanu cover.
Sad Keanu cover. Sandwich in the pouring rain. It's great.
Is it pouring rain?
No, but it's pouring rain outside.
Oh. Yeah. I remember that photo. But it's been great having you part of this podcast, and you contribute a lot, and we appreciate it.
Thank you. As I said, I greatly appreciate being a part of this team. This is a very special team, and I think the best thing about the podcast is this, like, you don't know what to expect. So, like, I know when we were doing the podcast before in Jacob's Old Places, we would always try and ask you guys what we would talk about on the episode every single time. What can you give us the topic of the episode?
I just gave up. I'm like, just start when I say go.
But so me and Lucas would ask, or Lucas would ask most of the time, if, like, at least tell us what you're going to talk about, and they'll be like, we'll just talk about what we want to talk about in a sense. So, like, they would have a list of things to talk about, but then it would just be going on a tangent of things, and that's what I think is funny. One of the things I really enjoyed, and I was watching back some other stuff. This was many moons ago, but you had talked about, I think it's with dyslexia, about, like, remembering streets and turning different places and all that stuff.
Yeah,
that's something that I struggle with.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I have to use Google Maps almost every single time. Unless I've been to a certain place like Bellarmine or somewhere like that.
Right.
But it's like I can't remember.
But do you know the names of the roads around here?
No.
Okay.
Well, I know like Newburgh, like Trevelyan, that type of stuff. But other than that, Baxter, Bardstown, but that's I can't tell you street names.
Okay. But you could you know, like, oh, it's up by this place.
To a certain extent, yes. If I've been there multiple times, yes. But if I've only been there once, I could not. You could tell me where it's ever, I probably would believe you.
Okay, so that's not dyslexia then.
Okay.
I would say.
Okay.
Right?
I believe so.
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, we're not experts here.
No. But I thought that was a dyslexia thing. Because people say, like, the name of a road.
Yeah.
Like, it's obvious.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So it's good to know that we have similarities in that sense.
And I do think there are other similarities and differences. It's just that there's not enough time to talk about it.
Yes.
Considering we have probably, I think, less than a minute on this episode. I mean, I would love to really do this again sometime.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can do this again very soon and not have any technical problems. And
after Jacob goes to another bachelor party at Target?
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But thank you again for having me on this show.
Thanks for being a part of it. You're a big part of this show, and we appreciate it very much. And now we have to banter, I think.
Thank you, everyone, for listening to Dyslexics Untied. Tune in live every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. on BellarmineRadio.com. That is Saturday morning, 11 a.m. on BellarmineRadio.com. Listen to us again on Fridays on Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. Also, catch us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And as always, See you next time.